The Great Hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with the voices of 100 different species. Light streamed in through tall crystal windows that showed the stars beyond. This was the place where the most powerful beings in the galaxy made their choices. Today, an important meeting was taking place. The council was going to decide if they should take resources from a small blue planet in a far corner of the galaxy. Gray stood waiting for his turn to speak. He was old, even by the standards of his long-lived species. His skin had the pale, almost translucent quality that came with great age, and his large eyes held the wisdom of centuries. When the council leader signaled, Gray moved to the center of the room. The voices quieted. Respected members of the council, Gray began, his voice soft but carrying to every corner of the vast chamber. I come before you today with a warning about the species you plan to visit on the third planet of the yellow star system. The council leader, a tall being with 6 limbs and scales that shimmered in different colors, looked down at Gray. The reports say these humans have only basic space travel. They have not yet reached beyond their own moon. What could possibly concern you? Gray took a small device from his pocket and placed it on the floor. A 3-dimensional image of Earth appeared, floating in the air for all to see. It is true that humans are young. Their technology is simple compared to ours, but there is something about them that you must understand. Gray waved his hand, and the image changed to show humans throughout their history. Humans are different from every species we have encountered before. They have a quality that makes them truly dangerous. Gray paused, looking around the room. They never give up. A ripple of laughter passed through the council. All species fight to survive, said a member with blue fur and sharp teeth. This is nothing new. Gray shook his head. It goes far beyond simple survival. Let me show you. He changed the image again. Now it showed a human hunter following animal tracks through snow. Day turned to night, and back to day as the human continued, never stopping for long. This is not unusual, said Gray. Many hunters are patient. But look at this. The image shifted to show humans searching for criminals. These humans hunted a wrongdoer for 60 years. The original hunters died. Their children continued the hunt. The council grew quiet. Humans have a concept they call justice. When they believe they have been wronged, they will pursue those responsible across any distance and through any amount of time. Gray changed the image again, showing human wars and peace treaties. Most species fight until it becomes too costly. Then they make peace. Humans will sometimes fight until they win or until they are completely destroyed. The council leader frowned. Are you suggesting these primitives would be a match for our forces? Not now, perhaps not for centuries, Gray replied. But if you attack them, if you kill their people and take their resources without permission, they will never stop hunting you. They will pass down their anger from parent to child. They will improve their technology with a single purpose, to find you. A member with metalled skin and glowing eyes spoke next. We have encountered stubborn species before. They learn quickly enough that resistance is pointless. You miss my point, Gray said. Other species are logical. When faced with a superior force, they make the sensible choice to surrender or negotiate. Humans often do not. They have a saying, revenge is a dish best served cold. It means they are willing to wait generations to settle what they call a score. Gray changed the image one last time. Now it showed a human ship, crude by council standards, but clearly designed for space travel. They are advancing quickly. In just 100 years, they went from simple flying machines to walking on their moon. Their rate of technological development is among the fastest we have ever observed. All the more reason to establish control now, while we still can, said the blue-furred member. Gray sighed. I have studied thousands of species across my long life. I have never advised the council to avoid contact with any of them, until now. If you attack the humans, they will mark you. All of you. They will learn your names, your home worlds, and they will come for you. The council leader seemed troubled for a moment. Then he straightened. We appreciate your concern, Gray, but the decision has already been made. The resource extraction mission will proceed as planned. You need those resources that badly? Gray asked. The new expansion requires it, said the metal skin member. We have markets to satisfy, colonies to support. Then at least approach them peacefully, Gray pleaded. Offer trade, share technology. They could become valuable allies. Negotiation takes too long, said the council leader. We need those resources now, not after years of diplomatic talks. He raised his hand. The council has voted. Commander Blue will leave the extraction mission. They depart tomorrow. Gray closed his eyes briefly. When he opened them, he looked at each council member in turn. Remember my words. If you take from the humans by force, they will never forget. They will never forgive. They will hunt you forever. Your concern is noted, said the council leader. This meeting is adjourned. As the council members filed out, Gray remained in the center of the room. He felt the weight of what was to come. The council had made many mistakes in its long history, but this, he feared, might be its worst. One young council aide approached him. Do you really believe these humans are so dangerous? They're so small, and their ships are so primitive. Gray looked down at the aide. Size and technology are not everything. The humans have a saying. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. The council is about to kick a very small dog with a very big spirit, and they will regret it for generations to come. As Gray left the council chamber, he wondered if he should try to warn the humans, but such interference was forbidden by council law. All he could do now was watch and wait for the storm that would surely follow. The next day, a fleet of council ships left the Central Worlds, heading for the small blue planet that the locals called Earth. At their head was Commander Blue, confident in his mission and in the power of his ships. He had no idea that he was about to change the course of galactic history forever, or that his name would one day be whispered with fear across 1,000 worlds. The warning had been given. The warning had been ignored. Captain Tom Reed was enjoying his morning coffee when the alarm sounded across Titan Base. He jumped up from his chair, spilling the hot liquid across his desk and the reports he had been reading. What's going on? He asked as he rushed into the control room. The screen showed unusual activity near the orbit of Neptune. Lisa, his second-in-command, pointed to the main display. Sir, we're picking up objects moving at incredible speeds. They're slowing down as they approach Neptune. They're not ours. Tom stared at the screen. After decades of searching the stars for signs of intelligent life, it seemed that intelligent life had found them first. How many? He asked quietly. At least 20 large vessels, sir, and dozens of smaller ones. Tom took a deep breath. This was the moment humanity had prepared for, yet never truly expected. Send the first contact package. All frequencies, all formats. The first contact package was humanity's introduction to the stars. A collection of images, mathematics, music, and basic language primers designed to demonstrate peaceful intentions and intelligence. Package sent, sir, Lisa reported. No response yet. For 3 tense days, the alien fleet remained near Neptune. Earth governments called emergency meetings. Military forces went on high alert. And through it all, Titan Base continued sending the first contact package every 6 hours. On the 4th day, the alien fleet began to move again, toward Earth. They're heading straight for Ganymede mining station, Lisa said, her voice tight with worry. Ganymede, Jupiter's largest moon, housed humanity's biggest off-Earth mining operation. 2,000 people lived and worked there. Tom made a quick decision. Prepare my ship. I'm going to meet them halfway. Sir, that's not protocol. We need to establish face-to-face contact before they reach our major installations, Tom insisted. If their intentions are hostile, we need to know now. 6 hours later, Tom's diplomatic vessel, the Handshake, was on an intercept course with the alien fleet. 5 other ships from Earth's small space force, accompanied him as escort. "Continuing to broadcast first contact package on all channels," reported Will, the communications officer. Still no response. Tom watched through the viewport as the alien ships grew larger. They were beautiful in a strange way, smooth, curved vessels that seemed to shimmer with an inner light. "They're slowing," Lisa said. "I think they've noticed us." Suddenly, a new sound filled the bridge, a series of clicks and whistles unlike anything Tom had ever heard. "They're responding," Will exclaimed, adjusting his equipment. "The computer is trying to translate, but it will take time." The alien message repeated several times. Then, to everyone's shock, it was followed by words in English. "Attention Earth vessels. This is Commander Blue of the Galactic Council Resource Acquisition Fleet. Your presence is acknowledged. Stand aside." The bridge crew looked at each other in amazement. "They speak English," Lisa whispered. "Translation technology," Tom guessed, "must be far beyond ours." He leaned forward. "Will, open a channel." When Will nodded, Tom spoke clearly. "Commander Blue, this is Captain Tom Reed of Earth. We welcome you to our solar system and wish to establish peaceful relations. We request a meeting to discuss your intentions." There was a long pause before the reply came. "Captain Reed, your solar system contains resources claimed by the Galactic Council. We are here to extract these resources. Your cooperation is appreciated, but not required." Tom felt a chill run down his spine. "Commander Blue, these resources belong to the people of Earth. We are willing to discuss trade agreements that would benefit both our peoples." "Trade is inefficient," came the cold reply. "We have our orders. Your outposts on Ganymede, Titan, and Europa will be evacuated immediately. You have 6 Earth hours to comply." Tom's mind raced. "Commander, please. We need more time. At least allow us to discuss this with our world leaders." 6 hours, Blue repeated. "Then we begin operations regardless of your status." The communication ended abruptly. Tom turned to his crew. "Send everything to Earth Command. Tell them we need instructions immediately." For the next 5 hours, frantic messages flew between Earth, the space stations, and Tom's ship. World leaders argued about how to respond. Military commanders demanded permission to ready their weapons. Scientists pleaded for more time to understand the aliens' technology. With 1 hour remaining, Earth Command finally sent their decision. "Do not yield. Attempt further negotiation. All stations are being reinforced." Tom didn't like it. The reinforcements wouldn't arrive in time, and Earth's weapons would be useless against the alien technology he had observed. He opened the channel again. "Commander Blue, our people request additional time for discussion. Surely the Galactic Council values diplomatic relations. We can find a solution that works for everyone." Blue's response was immediate. "Your time is up, Captain Reed. We detect your military vessels approaching. This is considered a hostile action." "They're not hostile," Tom protested. "They're just." A bright flash lit up the viewport. On the screens, Tom watched in horror as one of the small science stations near Jupiter exploded. "No," he shouted. "Commander Blue, stop. There were people on that station." "Your warning has been delivered," Blue replied coldly. "Clear the area or face similar consequences." Tom's hands clenched into fists. Those were innocent civilians, scientists. "They were in a restricted resource area," Blue said. "The Galactic Council has claimed this system. Further interference will result in additional enforcement." Before Tom could respond, alarms blared across his ship. "Multiple energy signatures," Lisa shouted. "They're targeting Ganymede mining station." "Warn them," Tom ordered. "Tell them to evacuate now." But it was too late. The alien weapons fired again. Strange beams of light that seemed to fold space itself. The mining station, home to 2,000 men and women, vanished in a silent flash. Tom stared at the empty space where the station had been. His whole body felt numb. "Get us out of here," he whispered. "Back to Earth." Now, as the handshake turned and accelerated away, a final message came from Commander Blue. The resource extraction will continue as planned. Further resistance will be met with appropriate force. This communication is now ended. Tom looked at his crew. He saw the same emotions on their faces that burned in his heart: shock, grief, and a growing anger. "They'll pay for this," Lisa said, her voice shaking. Tom nodded slowly. "Yes, they will." He turned to Will. "Send a message to Earth Command. Tell them war has begun." As the handshake raced home, behind them the alien fleet spread throughout the outer solar system, unaware that they had just made the most dangerous enemy in the galaxy. 6 months had passed since the aliens attacked. 6 months of grief, rage, and desperate preparation. Earth had changed forever on that terrible day when thousands of lives were lost in the outer solar system. Admiral Jane Foster stood on the bridge of the Retribution, Earth's newest and largest warship. It wasn't much compared to the alien vessels, but it was the best humanity could build in such a short time. "Status report," Jane ordered, her voice steady despite the tension that filled the ship. "All systems ready." "Admiral," replied her second-in-command, Officer Mike. "The fleet is in position and awaiting your command." Jane nodded and looked at the main screen. It showed 12 Earth ships hiding in the shadow of Jupiter's moon Callisto. It wasn't much of a fleet: 3 military vessels and 9 retrofitted cargo ships. But it was all that stood between Earth and the alien invaders. "And our secret weapon?" she asked quietly. Mike handed her a tablet. "The science team reports it's ready. They've reverse-engineered enough of the alien technology from the debris we collected. It's not perfect, but Dr. Wilson says it should work." Jane studied the report. After the initial attack, Earth had sent teams to collect any alien technology they could find. Working day and night, the best scientists on the planet had managed to understand some of the basic principles of the alien weapons and shields. "It will have to be enough," Jane said, handing back the tablet. "What's the status of the alien fleet?" "Commander Blue's flagship remains in orbit around Saturn. They've established mining operations on 3 moons. The rest of their fleet is spread throughout the system." Jane's eyes narrowed. "They think we're beaten. They think we've given up." She straightened her uniform. "It's time to show them how wrong they are. Send the signal." Mike nodded and pressed a button on his console. "All ships acknowledge. Operation Payback is a go." Jane took a deep breath. "Begin countdown." Far away, in the magnificent halls of the Galactic Council, Commander Blue's report was being received with satisfaction. "The primitive species has been subdued," Blue's hologram stated to the assembled council members. "They offered minimal resistance after we demonstrated our power. Mining operations are proceeding ahead of schedule." The council leader nodded approvingly. "Excellent work, Commander. Any further issues with the locals?" "None," Blue replied confidently. "They've retreated to their home planet. Their technology is too primitive to pose any threat. I expect to complete the extraction within 1 standard year." Gray, who sat at the back of the chamber, shook his head sadly but remained silent. He had warned them, but they had not listened. Now it was too late. "Very well," said the council leader. "Continue your—" An aide rushed into the chamber and whispered urgently to the council leader, whose scales changed color in alarm. "Commander Blue," the leader said sharply, "we're receiving reports of an attack on your fleet. Please verify." Blue's hologram flickered with surprise. "Impossible. The humans have no weapons that cold." The hologram suddenly disappeared. Back at Saturn, Blue stood on his flagship's bridge in shock. Alarms blared as 3 of his ships reported being under attack. "How is this happening?" he demanded. "Their weapons couldn't even dent our shields 6 months ago." His tactical officer looked up from the console with fear in his multiple eyes. "They're using our own technology against us, Commander. Somehow they've adapted our shield frequencies and weapon signatures." Blue couldn't believe it. "That's impossible." No species could reverse engineer our technology so quickly. The mining station on Titan is under heavy attack, another officer reported. They're requesting immediate assistance. Blue straightened his posture. Launch all fighters. Target the human vessels and destroy them. This ends now. As Blue's fighters streamed out of his flagship, he didn't notice the small human ship that had drifted close, using the debris field from earlier battles as cover. On board that ship, the Phantom, Commander Jack Smith checked his team one last time. Remember the plan. He told the 12 men and women in tactical gear. We get in, plant the devices, and get out. 20 minutes max. They all nodded. Each of them had lost friends or family in the initial alien attack. This mission was personal. Docking in 30 seconds. The pilot announced. They haven't detected us yet. Jack checked his weapon. A combination of Earth technology and alien components. It felt strange in his hands, but the test results had been promising. For Earth, he said simply. For Earth, his team echoed. The Phantom silently attached itself to the hull of Blue's flagship, its special coating making it invisible to the alien sensors. Jack's team cut through the hull and slipped inside, their suits protecting them from decompression. Inside the alien ship, they moved quickly through the strange corridors. The few aliens they encountered were quickly stunned with the modified weapons. Plant the devices at these junctions, Jack ordered, pointing to a rough map they had created from scans. Teams of 2. Set timers for 15 minutes. As the teams split up, Jack and his partner headed for the bridge. They needed to confirm Blue's location before they left. Meanwhile, the space battle raged around Saturn. Jane's fleet was taking heavy damage, but they were also inflicting serious harm on the alien ships. Their shields are adapting, Mike reported. Our weapons are becoming less effective. Jane nodded grimly. As expected, have all ships start rotation beta, and give me a status on Team Phantom. They've boarded the flagship. No communication as planned. Jane checked the time. 5 more minutes, then we begin withdrawal. All ships need to be at safe distance in 12 minutes. On the alien flagship, Jack placed the last device near what they believed was the main engine control. He checked the timer. 7 minutes remaining. Let's get to the extraction point, he told his partner. As they turned to leave, a door slid open, and Commander Blue himself stepped through, flanked by guards. For a moment, both groups stared at each other in surprise. Then Blue raised a weapon. Humans, he hissed in his translated voice. How dare you board my ship? Jack didn't hesitate. He fired his modified weapon. And to Blue's shock, the energy blast went straight through his personal shield. Blue dove aside, but his guards were hit and fell. Run, Jack shouted to his partner, who took off down the corridor. Jack fired again, forcing Blue to take cover. Their eyes met across the room, human and alien. And Jack saw something new in the commander's gaze. Fear. You were warned, Jack said coldly. You should not have attacked us. Then he turned and ran, following his team back to the extraction point. Behind him, Blue rose and shouted orders to his crew, unaware of the devices counting down throughout his ship. Back on the Retribution, Jane watched the battle with growing tension. All teams report extraction complete, Mike announced finally. Phantom is away from the flagship. Signal the withdrawal, Jane ordered. Full speed to the rendezvous point. As Earth's fleet pulled back from Saturn, the alien ships pursued, exactly as planned. None of them noticed the small devices that had been planted not just on Blue's flagship, but on several other key vessels during the chaos of battle. From the safety of Callisto's shadow, Jane watched the countdown reach 0. Multiple explosions bloomed silently across Blue's fleet. The flagship itself didn't explode completely. They had wanted Blue to survive. But its engines and weapons went dark. Several other ships broke apart entirely. Direct hit, Mike reported, unable to keep the satisfaction from his voice. Flagship is disabled but intact. 5 enemy vessels destroyed. The rest are in disarray. Jane nodded slowly. Send the message. A tight beam transmission shot from the Retribution directly to Blue's crippled flagship. It contained only a few words. This is just the beginning. We are coming for you. As Jane's fleet disappeared into the depths of space, Blue stared at the message on his damaged bridge. For the first time in his long career, he felt something he had never expected to feel when dealing with a primitive species: dread. Send a message to the Council, he ordered his remaining officers. Request immediate reinforcements. One of his officers looked up nervously. Sir, the humans. They're leaving the system. What? Blue couldn't believe it. Where are they going? The officer checked the readings again. Based on their trajectory, they appear to be heading toward Galactic Council space. Blue felt a cold realization wash over him. The humans weren't just defending their system. They were taking the fight to the Council itself. And somehow, deep inside, he knew that Gray had been right all along. 5 years had passed since the Battle of Saturn. 5 years since humanity had stunned the Galactic Council by not only fighting back, but taking the war to their doorstep. General Jack Smith stood on the bridge of the Nemesis, Earth's most advanced warship. Once a simple commander, Jack now led humanity's vengeance fleet. His face had changed over the years. A long scar ran down his left cheek, and his eyes held the hardness that came from years of war. Any sign of him? Jack asked, staring at the star map that filled the main screen. His second-in-command, Officer Ben, shook his head. Not yet, sir. But we've narrowed the search to this sector. Blue can't hide forever. Jack nodded slowly. The hunt for Commander Blue had become Earth's highest priority. After the attack on Saturn, Blue had escaped in a small vessel while his fleet was destroyed. For 5 years, he had been running from system to system, always one step ahead of the human ships that pursued him. What about the Council representatives? Jack asked. Still waiting for your response to their latest peace offer, Ben replied. This is the 5th proposal they've sent in 3 months. Jack's mouth tightened. They know our terms. We want Blue and the Council members who ordered the attack on our system. Nothing less. The Galactic Council had not expected the humans to advance so quickly. Using the alien technology they had captured, Earth's scientists had made incredible breakthroughs. Humans now had ships that could travel between stars, weapons that could match the Council's, and a burning determination that no other species could understand. Sir, called out the communications officer, we're receiving a message from the tracker. They found something. Jack straightened. Put it through. The screen changed to show Captain Mary, commander of the scout ship tracker. General, we've detected an energy signature matching Blue's ship. He's on a small trading outpost in the Proxima system. Jack felt his heart beat faster. After years of searching, they might finally have found their target. How certain are you? 90%, sir. We've been monitoring for 3 days without being detected. He's there. Jack turned to Ben. Prepare the strike team. I'll lead this one myself. Sir, Ben protested, the Council has probably set a trap. Blue is too valuable to them. That's exactly why I need to go, Jack replied. I know Blue better than anyone. I've been chasing him for 5 years. As the Nemesis changed course for the Proxima system, Jack went to his quarters to prepare. On his wall hung a picture of the Ganymede mining station and its 2,000 crew members, all lost in the first alien attack. Jack looked at it every day to remind himself why he fought. His computer chimed with an incoming call. Jack accepted it, and the face of Admiral Jane Foster appeared on the screen. Jack, she said, I hear you found him. Jack nodded. Finally, we're heading to Proxima now. Jane's face showed concern. The Council is getting desperate. They've sent envoys to Earth again, offering significant technology exchanges and reparations if we'll end the hunt. But not Blue, Jack said. They still won't give us Blue. No, Jane agreed. They claim they can't find him. But our intelligence suggests they've been helping him hide. She paused. Are you sure you need to lead this mission yourself? I'm sure, Jack said firmly. This ends with me facing him. Jane studied him for a moment. The Vengeance Directive was never meant to consume us, Jack. Remember that. The Vengeance Directive had been established by Earth's United Governments 2 years after the attack. It stated simply, those responsible for the unprovoked attack on humanity will be brought to justice, no matter how long it takes or how far we must go. I haven't forgotten why we fight, Jack replied. Blue must answer for what he did. 2 days later, the Nemesis arrived at the edge of the Proxima system. The trading outpost was small, a collection of habitats and docks orbiting a lifeless moon. Scan the outpost, Jack ordered as he checked his tactical gear. I want to know exactly where he is before we move in. The 12 members of Jack's strike team were the best Earth had to offer. They had trained together for years, specifically for the mission of capturing Blue. We have confirmation, Ben reported. Blue is in Habitat 4. He's registered under a false name, but facial recognition is positive. Jack nodded. Let's move. Quick and quiet. The strike team's ship approached the outpost under stealth. Years of studying alien technology had given humans advantages that even the Council didn't know about. They docked at a little-used airlock and entered the station without triggering any alarms. Moving through the corridors in pairs, they made their way toward Habitat 4. Jack led the way, his modified pulse rifle ready. The trading outpost was filled with beings from dozens of different species, many of whom had never seen humans before. They stared as the strike team passed, but no one interfered. He's in the 3rd chamber on the left, Ben whispered, checking his scanner. Single life form, matches his species. Jack signaled the team to take positions around the chamber. Remember, we need him alive. With a nod to Ben, Jack triggered the door. It slid open, and he rushed inside, weapon raised. The chamber was simple: a sleeping area, a food preparation unit, and a comm station. And there, standing by the window, was Commander Blue. He looked different than Jack remembered. His once proud uniform was gone, replaced by plain clothing. But his eyes were the same, cold and calculating. Commander Blue, Jack said, his voice hard. By the authority of Earth and the Vengeance Directive, you are under arrest for crimes against humanity. Blue didn't seem surprised. He almost looked relieved. Jack Smith, he said in his translated voice. I wondered which human would finally catch me. You remember me, Jack said. I remember all of you, Blue replied. 5 years of running. 5 years of looking over my shoulder. Your people are persistent. We warned you, Jack said. You were told not to attack us, that we would hunt you forever. Blue made a gesture that might have been a shrug. The Council didn't believe the warning. They thought you were just another primitive species that would accept defeat. He looked out at the stars. They understand now. Jack kept his weapon steady. You're coming with us to Earth to face justice for the deaths of thousands of innocent people. Blue turned back to Jack. The Council is in chaos because of you humans. Multiple species have broken away, fearing your vengeance might extend to them. Trade routes have collapsed. Defensive pacts are being formed. Not our problem, Jack replied coldly. You started this war. And I wish I hadn't, Blue said quietly. Believe it or not, I've had 5 years to regret my actions. The Council ordered me to extract resources quickly and efficiently. I followed orders. Jack felt his finger tighten on the trigger. Those were people, not resources. I know that now, Blue said. But will my capture end this? Will humanity be satisfied with just me, or will you continue hunting the Council members who gave the orders? Before Jack could answer, his comm unit chimed with an urgent alert. General, came Ben's voice. We have multiple Council ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel. At least 5 heavy cruisers. They'll reach the outpost in minutes. Jack kept his eyes on Blue. Prepare for emergency extraction. It seems, Blue said, that the council still considers me worth protecting. Jack stepped forward and placed restraints on Blue's limbs. It won't help them. We've gotten very good at escaping council traps. As Jack led Blue from the chamber, the alien commander looked at him with genuine curiosity. How long would you have hunted me if I had not been found today? Jack's answer was simple. Forever. Back on the Nemesis, alarms sounded as the council ships approached. Evasive pattern Delta, Jack ordered as he brought Blue to the bridge. Prepare for jump as soon as we clear the gravity well. The crew worked with practiced efficiency. They had escaped council forces many times before. As the Nemesis accelerated away from the outpost, Blue watched the human crew with new understanding. He had never believed Gray's warning all those years ago. Now, seeing these humans in action, he finally understood what the Old One had meant. They would never have stopped. They would have hunted him until the end of time. The great hall of the Galactic Council was silent as the human delegation entered. Admiral Jane Foster led the way, her uniform crisp and decorated with the symbols of Earth's United Forces. Behind her walked General Jack Smith, his face set in stone. And behind him, in restraints, came Commander Blue. The council members shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Many had never expected to see humans in this chamber, let alone as a force to be reckoned with, and none had expected to see Commander Blue as a prisoner. The council leader rose from his seat. His scales no longer shimmered with confidence as they had years ago. Admiral Foster, General Smith, he said formally. The Galactic Council recognizes the delegation from Earth. Jane stepped forward. We come to present our terms for peace. A murmur ran through the assembled representatives. For 7 years, humanity had waged a relentless campaign across the stars. They had destroyed council mining operations, disrupted trade routes, and hunted down those responsible for the attack on their system. The council had underestimated them at every turn. We are prepared to hear your terms, the council leader said. His voice betrayed his weariness. First, Jane said clearly, Commander Blue will face justice for his actions against Earth. His trial will be conducted on our planet, under our laws. Blue looked down at the floor but did not speak. The fight had gone out of him during his long captivity aboard the Nemesis. Second, Jane continued, the council members who ordered the attack on our system will step down from their positions and never again hold power in this body. Several council members rose in protest, but the leader silenced them with a gesture. Third, Jane said, the Galactic Council will formally recognize Earth's sovereignty and right to all resources within our solar system. And if we agree to these terms, the leader asked, what assurances do we have that humanity will end its campaign against us? Jack stepped forward. The vengeance directive will be satisfied. Earth will stand down its forces. We did not want this war. We only wanted justice. From the back of the hall, a familiar figure emerged. Gray, the elder who had warned the council years ago. He walked slowly to stand between the human delegation and the council leader. I warned you, he said softly to the leader. I told you what would happen if you attacked the humans. He turned to Jane and Jack. And I wish to apologize to Earth for not doing more to prevent this tragedy. Jane looked at the old alien with surprise. You were the one who warned them about us. Gray nodded. I have studied thousands of species across my long life. Humans are unique in their determination. I knew what would happen if you were attacked without cause. He looked back at the council. And now we have all learned this lesson at great cost. The council leader sighed. We will need time to discuss these terms. You have one Earth day, Jack said firmly. Our fleet remains at the edge of this system, ready to enforce our demands if necessary. As the humans were escorted to waiting quarters, the council chamber erupted in debate. Some members argued for continuing the fight, believing that eventually humans would tire of war. Others pointed out that 7 years had not diminished their resolve in the slightest. In a small meeting room away from the main chamber, Gray spoke with Jane and Jack. You have changed the galaxy, Gray told them. No species has ever challenged the council this way, and succeeded. "We didn't want to change the galaxy," Jane replied. "We just wanted to be left in peace." Gray nodded. "I understand. But what will Earth do now? Will you join the galactic community, or will you isolate yourselves?" Jack looked at Jane. They had discussed this question many times during the long years of conflict. "We will join," Jane said finally. "But on our terms, as equals, not as subjects." 24 hours later, the council reconvened. The leader stood to address the human delegation. After much deliberation, he announced, "The Galactic Council accepts your terms." His scales had dulled to a flat gray color, the sign of defeat in his species. Commander Blue will be remanded to Earth custody. The council members who ordered the attack have resigned their positions, and we formally recognize Earth's sovereignty. Jane nodded. "Then the war is over." As Blue was led away, he paused beside Jack. "I never understood," he said quietly. "I never understood why you wouldn't stop hunting me." "Because we promised we wouldn't," Jack replied simply. "Humans keep their promises, both good and bad." 1 month later, Earth celebrated the end of the 7-year conflict. The Vengeance Directive was officially fulfilled. Blue had been tried and sentenced to help rebuild what he had destroyed. The former council members had been stripped of power, and humanity had taken its place among the stars. In a quiet ceremony at the newly established Earth Embassy on the Council world, Jane and Gray signed the Never Again Protocol, a new set of laws that would govern relations between all species. This document ensures that no species may attack another without provocation, Gray explained to the assembled diplomats. It establishes rights for all intelligent beings, regardless of their technological development. Jane added, and it creates a new peacekeeping force with representatives from all member worlds to enforce these protections. As the ceremony concluded, a young council aide approached Jack. "Is it true?" he asked. "Would your people really have hunted Commander Blue forever?" Jack looked at the aide for a long moment. "Yes," he said finally. "That's who we are. We don't forget. We don't give up. But we also forgive once justice is served." He gestured to where Blue was working with a team of human and alien engineers. "He's paying for his crimes by helping to build something better." The aide seemed troubled. "My species would have eventually accepted defeat. We would have calculated the cost and surrendered." "That's the difference," Jack said. "For humans, some things are beyond calculation. Some promises must be kept, no matter the cost." Later that evening, Jane stood with Gray on a balcony overlooking the council city. The lights of 1,000 different species twinkled below them. "What happens now?" Jane asked. Gray smiled. "Now we learn from each other. The galaxy has changed, and I believe it's for the better. The council needed to be challenged. It had grown too comfortable with its power." "And what about humans?" Jane asked. "Will we find our place here?" "You already have," Gray replied. "Just yesterday, I heard an interesting story. A small world on the rim was being threatened by pirates. Do you know what the local governor said when asked what they would do?" Jane shook her head. "He said, 'Send for the humans. Not for the council forces, not for their own defense fleet. For the humans.'" Gray looked at her with his ancient eyes. "Your reputation precedes you now. The species that would not stop, would not surrender, would not forget. But also the species that kept its word." As a new day dawned on the council world, ships from Earth arrived carrying scientists, diplomats, artists, and explorers, all eager to learn and share with the galactic community. The war was over, the hunt was done, and humanity had proven that Gray's warning had been right all along. Do not attack the humans. They will hunt you forever. But they had also shown something else, that once justice was served, they could build peace that would last just as long.